Hi, this is Pido Aguilar, and welcome to an episode of Behind the Scenes, a no frills, sneak peek, raw and rough clip of conversations with someone whose public persona you may already know, but you have not been up close and personal. So let's get to know him a little more because it's always a joy to discover and uncover interesting things about people we like and admire. Maybe you are his friends, his family, his fans, his followers. So let's get behind the scenes. Our guest and visitor today is a musician, an artist, and according to him, a hobbyist plantito. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm virtual applause to Jimmy Bondoc.
Hello. I'm very glad to be here, Sir Pido, and to all your fans and followers. I'm so honored to be talking right here in front of you today.
Jim, what have you been doing lately? What keeps you busy?
Well, I have been doing it for the last 5 years, being a government employee, but it is still unbeknownst to a lot. The music has taken somewhat of a backseat,
Hmm,
but when I was reassessing my life, I found that I was writing about one song per quarter still. So it seems that the songwriting did not stop.
mm-mm. When did you discover that you are probably a musician or an artist?
It's the only identity I know from the earliest memory. So that's really the hardest question that's always asked. I've known no other Jimmy than the musician.
Bata ka pa, alam mo na musikero ka?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
With all like let's talk about something fun. Yeah, the yung mga uso ngayon na transgender issue, they always talk about, they always knew they were women, and the only reason why I understand that is because as a musician I understand it. Ever since the earliest memory, I was a musician.
Do you come from a musical family?
Si dad was part of the Ateneo Glee Club, and my mom was part of a singing group in St. Teresa's. But I hope my mom doesn't hate me for it. But the real musician was my dad. My mom is okay.
Tapos nag-Ateneo Children's Theater ka pa.
Yes, under you and under Mr. Singson. I
And
was also part of the Dulaang Sibol in high school.
solista ka pa. Wow, well-formed, well-trained. College, ano yung musical life mo?
Nagbabanda na ako. I suppose you can call it professional because we were getting paid. Pero if it's less than minimum wage, is that professional? I was getting paid in a few hundred, 100 pesos.
But the joy is priceless.
Oh, absolutely. And the lessons.
Ano yung pangalan ng banda nyo nung college?
It started out kasi as in high school, yung Strings and Skins, which became SNS. And then if you remember Alan Abad, our grade school classmate, si Alan Abad, he passed away because of cancer. We
Oh,
were asked by the parents of Alan to do a fundraising. So nag-concert kami as SNS. And then it just never stopped. So in a way, Alan gave us that start, no, in the professional band scene.
if your voice were an orchestra instrument, what instrument would you be?
Orchestra. Um, there are the normal instruments that I play are not really part of the orchestra. So I
Yung,
think it would be a tim mm, kasi gitarista ako no? But that's commonly not part of the normal. Of course, it can always be, but the traditional orchestra, siguro timpani.
bakit?
Kasi yung oo, yung timpani, it's a background instrument, and I know when we were young, nagbibida-bida ako sa theater, no? But I've found, like even in government or even now with the musicians community, parang I like to observe from the back and then just emphasize dramatic moments, you know? There are moments na parang hayaan nilang mag-ingay muna lahat ng tao because that's good. That's good for awareness. But if there is an important issue or a dramatic moment that I would like to emphasize, andyan na si timpani, di ba? Brrr, biglang, ganda eh. So I think I've become that.
At saka pag tumunog yung timpani, ikaw lang eh.
Yeah. Well, it just gives something that the chorus cannot give anymore, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. I like it. It's a strong but quiet until it's needed.
Oo. Have you tried rap, Jim?
Uh yes, but I was never spontaneous. Pero I wrote a song for our president before, and there was a rap portion there that I wrote.
Hmm.
But I ended up not recording the rap portion. It was given to Miel de Mesa, another Atenea. Pero I recorded the original part and it was good. I thought I was good at it. I thought, but they replaced it.
Mm-hmm. But you're not closing your doors to rap.
No, kasi for me, there is a very, very blurred line between singing and rapping. Uh, Even raps these days, some of them, like Jason Mraz has already become, parang rapping na rin yung ginagawa niya. Because sometimes in the traditional structure of songwriting, there are very few words that you can put in. And parang that's the rule. You're supposed to have an economy of words, right?
Hmm.
Pero in the rap, that reversed that rule. No, you're now able to say as much as you can and squeeze it into the verses as much as you can. So it liberates the songwriter. So yes, I'm open to that.
Mahirap ba ang rap? Mauubusan ka ng hininga?
Yeah. Uh, the hininga, I think, is the least of your worries. Eh. I think it's the speed of your mind. No, it's the speed of your mind and to stay connected to uh, the meaning na you're still trying to say something, no, but you're saying it quick. You're
Mhm.
saying it quick. Ang interesting sa akin about rap is uh, of course dapat may meaning yung words, no? Pero sometimes the rhyming itself means something else, no? Parang you're trying to say an additional meaning through the rhyme. So it's really a complex art, that rap.
Pero wala siyang musika, wala siyang tunog, puro salita lang.
May mga nagra-rap ngayon na may parang kanta na eh. Yung parang monotone na and then it breaks out into a hint of melody. Tsaka in rap, melody might not be the key factor. No, it's not the key factor. But the sound of the voice is a key factor. So it's like singing. Yung sound ng voice.
Mm.
Like there are shrill voices. I hope this is not too funny, no? Pero may mga low voices na parang gusto lang gumanyan at gumanito. Meron siyang gustong ibigay sa iyo. Di ba? Meron siyang gustong ibigay na calmness sa iyo. Pero pag gusto kanyang antig ang puso mo o buhayin ng diwa mo sa isang issue na mayroon mawalang galang pero maraming mga kurakot sa bayan. Biglang yung boses nagiging ganon, ano?
Mm.
So it's singing. It's singing. For me, it's singing.
Okay. So may power din pala ang rap, may purpose ang rap aside from usual singing.
For me, absolutely. Sa akin nga, ano yan eh. In a way, it's a more difficult form. In a way.
Okay. Let's say you want to chill and you will build a rest house. Saan mo ilalagay? Near the mountain, near the river, or near the forest?
Ako talagang classic. There are just too many good memories beside the ocean that I can never unlearn anymore. My memories of my dad are in the ocean, uh, jumping off helicopters, tapos sandcastles with mom, So hindi ko na ma-undo yun. So in fact, when I first made a reasonable amount of earnings, bumili agad ako ng sa Boracay. So talagang sa dagat yung aking predisposition.
So malamang, is it right to say you have made a few songs by the sea?
Yeah. Yes. Particularly one. Never made it big, but siguro yung totoong supporters ko would know the song. Unlearn. Unlearn ang title. It's just somewhere in YouTube. Yung Unlearn, I did not write it by the sea. I wrote it in the sea. I was swimming. It's the only one. It's the
Mm,
only one.
wow.
Mm-mm.
If you had all the time and all the money, walang problema sa pera, walang problema sa oras, what would be Jimmy Bondok's typical day? Ano kaya gagawin niya buong araw?
Growing up, we never had much money, but kapampangan ng daddy ko, yung blood niya. No? So meron siya nung ganong image na parang lagi kayong mayaman. Alam mo yun? Parang kahit wala na kayong pera, parang mayaman kayo. Which is why, and this is a roundabout way of answering your question, sir. Pero, which is why I grew up with that mentality that as if I had all the time and money in the world, even though it was not true. Which is why the most of my life before government work was already spent doing what I wanted to do. I would write songs, tapos pag nakilala siya by a considerable amount of people, iikot ko na siya. That's number two. Write songs, iikot ko na siya. And then, teaching. Hanggang ngayon, I'm trying to finish law school
Wow.
because I want to teach. I don't think I'll practice naman. I think, number one, I think it's no longer appropriate for the realities of my life. Who knows? But I don't think so. I don't think I'll practice. Pero yung to teach it, or even to teach it at a college level lang, yung constitutional law or something, I would love to have the ascendancy to do that. Kasi gusto kong nagtuturo.
Ang galing ng kombinasyon mo. Law is very logical, singing is very creative and free. So parang buong-buo ka, whole na whole ka, Jim.
That is a kinder way of saying bipolar.
Hindi naman.
Alam mo, I'm so glad you said that because si dad, his, di ba fathers have recurring lessons? Ang recurring lesson niya is always, sabi niya, dapat bilog ka. Ang buhay, sabi niya, binibilog. Don't make, parang wag kang gagawa ng sharp edges lang. Bilugin mo ng bilugin pag nagkukulang ka dito. And he would say that even at my earliest years, halimbawa, I did not like math particularly because I was an artist. Pero sabi niya, just learn enough of it para bilog ka, para hindi ka butas doon. And you know what? Now in my work part, I've become pretty good at math. Parang it was really just a block siguro, or I don't know, the mind is a complex thing. Pero bilog lang ng bilog, sabi niya. Bilog lang ng bilog. And to this day, that's what I try to do.
Ang galing naman ng lesson ni Dad. Bilugin mo, circle, whole. Is that why sometimes you do plants?
Yes. Yes. Because yung they call it's a scientific thing, yung ONT, but actually it's just very basic. It's one new thing, ONT, but it's a scientific term that you're supposed to learn one new thing every 2 years or 1 year. I don't know. I
Okay.
was just taught this, and it's supposed to keep your mind physically healthy. That it creates new pathways, mga neural pathways na ganyan, and it really generates a newness, no, a newness dun sa mind. So I do that. parang I tried learning French and I failed at it. But now that I realized, uy, may natutunan pala akong konti, but I can't speak it. I tried to learn planting and then marirealize mo, ang dami palang intricacies, no? May mga amount ng urea sa ganyan. And and it's good to have these things that you don't have to be an expert at, no? Kasi pag music, you're expected to perform at a certain level, so it becomes more than a craft. It becomes a job, which is fine. But you started it as a hobby, and then all of a sudden, you're expected to be perfect at it. So, nagkaka-pressures. Pero pag nagtatanim ka, pag namatay, di patay na. Tapos magtanim ka na lang ng bago. So you're given that space to just let learning happen. So I like that. I like ONTs.
NT. So, ilan na ba ang pasok mo sa backyard mo or sa garahe mo?
What's really, really dramatic about this planting thing, again, may drama na naman, was when we were young, kasi I live in the same compound as my mom, where we grew up. No, I sold a unit so that sabi ko, mamanahin ko din naman tong lupa na to, dito na lang ako. But on this sacred ground, we used to have a garden. And mom loved planting, and it was a huge garden. And then, when we were growing up, my brother Johnny got interested in basketball, and I did too because idol ko ang kapatid ko. So, she cemented over her garden.
Hmm.
As in, I mean, that is the perfect example of the giving tree parable, right? So, she lost her garden, but she didn't mind. She never made like sumbat or anything like that. So for the longest time, it was a garage. And then during the lockdown, I realized na what would keep her healthy was to have a garden again. So I did not just buy pots to answer your question. I have this parang little jackhammer because I like construction. Nagbukas kami dun sa dating sinemento. Tinibag namin, undoing years of that cement staying there. Nagbukas kami, it's siguro mga 4 meters by 3 meters or 2 meters na plot. And now she plants there every day. So it's a full circle. She has part of her garden back.
How about your plants? They occupy another space?
No, nakikitanim ako doon, and I've learned to buy those little plastic bags na
Mm.
magtatanim ka ng mga magpapasprout ka ng kung ano-ano. And it's just fun, no? In between studying and working, that you actually have something else to do, requiring less thought.
Nakakatulong ang halaman sa musika mo?
So I think sa overall balance lang nakakatulong. Sa overall balance. So I suppose it helps the music. The overall balance. Sarap siya eh. Masarap siya eh. Nakikita, it's an actual lesson on patience. Parang where else do you learn that, right? That you just can't hurry it up. Everything else can be hurried, you can plan your way into shortening the time of something. Pero yung plants, hindi siya magpapautos siya sa iyo eh. Siya nag-uutos sa akin.
I like that. Ang galing. Ang tendency ng tao mag-utos na mag-utos, no? But you cannot tell a seed to hurry up.
Wala. Hindi mo siya mauutusan. It can die if it wants to die. It can take its space. You can put in all the urea that you like. And if it doesn't like it anymore, you're burning me up. I'll just go to heaven. Ano siya eh. Siya ang mag-uutos sa'yo eh. Sabi niya, itong DNA ko, huwag ka makialam. So,
Wow.
I like that.
Plants. Ang galing.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, pwede maglaro ng little game, Jim?
Sure.
I will mention a pair of words, and
Okay.
in a few seconds, please choose one and explain why you choose that word. For example, red or blue? Ano sagot mo?
Siyempre, Ateneo.
O bakit blue?
Mm-mm. yun, it's Ateneo is a big part of who I am. So wala nang ibang dahilan.
Okay. First pair, garlic or onion?
Garlic. Immediately ang naisip ko health benefits. Kasi my mom has been going through high blood pressure. So garlic lang ang sagot dun eh. So wala akong deep reason. It's garlic is very healthy.
Okay. Where would you prefer to be? Up in the sky or underwater?
Underwater yata. Underwater. Up in the sky, unless that means heaven, of course, I want to be in heaven.
Wag muna, wag muna.
Oh.
Bakit
Oh. Kasi, like I said, my memories in the ocean are very broad and expansive. Pero wala namang silence sa sky eh. Wala namang silence sa sky na yung water. Are you, di ba, I'm sure you're familiar with that deafening silence that
Oo.
being underwater gives you. I love that. Kahit sa bathtub ko gawin yun, nararamdaman ko yun eh. Nararamdaman ko yun. Yung parang you are finally isolated. So I really like that. I like that quiet.
Kung gagawa ka ng susunod na kanta, will it be about a flower or a butterfly?
Or a butterfly. Baka butterfly. Because it's a comforting superstition yung that our loved ones visit us through
Wow.
the butterflies. So I'll probably write that for my dad or something like that.
Ang galing, na-connect mo agad.
Oh, 'di ba? Ganda ng like kasi it happens eh. Pag may makita akong butterfly, talk to my dad. I don't care if it's true or not, but we live in a world of symbols.
Anong color ang nakikita mo na butterfly?
Maganda naman, hindi naman itim.
Puti or
Iba-iba. I recently saw a parang monarch butterfly here. I didn't know they existed here, but it was big enough but not like the ones in yung mga sa Canada or what. It's big enough and it had all those colors, so it's reassuring. So I like it.
paru-paro. So, garlic na, underwater pa, awit ng paru-paro pa. Wow, exciting. Before we go, baka meron kang parting message sa iyong mga tagahanga, kaibigan, pamilya, followers, sa buong sambayan at sa buong mundo. Message from Jamie Bondoc.
I would like to connect my parting words with the recurring teachings of Sir Pido, which is about abundance. Kasi I have followed the words of Sir Pido about abundance, and hindi mo talaga mauubos yung infinite lesson na yon. And I relate it to what I'm doing now. Kasi growing up, I realized early that you can be many things. You don't have to be one thing. People expect na pag kumakanta ka, hindi yan magaling sa math. That's very common. People probably think I'm joking, but it's true. When I artista, hindi to magaling sa math. Pag nagmamat naman, corny to, sa math lang to magaling. But growing up, I realized that there is an abundance even in our options of what we can be. And I think in this day and age, it is more restricting. We think the internet has freed us, but it has not. Because kids right now market themselves as one thing, and they're stuck being that. No, they're stuck being that for so long. And I don't think that's healthy. So I hope may makarinig na bata. No? and realize that kahit magka-scandal pa siya, kahit may mag-bash pa sa kanya, he is not that. He's not that one thing. He can be a beautiful other thing. Kahit scandal pa ha, kahit scandal pa, let's go to the extreme. So my point is, if I do finish law, and even if I don't, who would have thought that I would work in government? And I think, to be honest, I think I'm doing pretty well because I'm being a good soldier. Pero I'm still a singer. I'm still a songwriter. I am still a son. I'm still a businessman. I have not given up my quest for some creature comforts. Pero people think that these things oppose each other, but abundance is a beautiful word. Hindi lang siya about food. It's not about resources. It's about options, what we can be. And I thank Sir Pido for giving me the chance to say that. That has been a message that has been echoing in my mind for quite a while. We can be many things. Huwag tayo magpalimit sa sinasabi ng ibang tao. That's it.
Wow. Let's give another warm virtual applause to Jimmy Bondo. Sana marami siyang sinabi na hindi natin alam dati. Kaya behind the scenes, para makilala natin ng taimtim ang ating iniidolong mga tao. So that's all for now. This is Pido Aguilar saying goodbye. Thank you for being with us behind the scenes. Till the next time, let's get abundant. Maraming salamat, Jimmy. Mabuhay ka, Jimmy. Ang awit ng paru-paro, hihintayin ko. Bye-bye! Wait lang. Eh. Jerson, please come over. Biglang lumabas yung puti na yan.
Pero nag-auto-record naman siya no? Pag you just stop recording.